You have asked yourself why it is always you who ends up walking alone. Why rooms can be full and still feel empty around you. Why even the people who love you cannot fully step into the place where your soul lives. What you call loneliness is often the first sign of consecration. You are not isolated because you are forgotten. You are separated because your life cannot be shaped by every hand, every voice, every trend, and every temporary comfort that swallows other people whole. There is something on you that does not blend. There is something in you that resists counterfeit belonging. That is why your path has felt narrower, quieter, and at times heavier than the path of those around you. From the beginning, you notice more than most people notice. You feel what others dismiss. You sense shifts before they become visible. You carry questions that shallow company cannot answer. So while others settle into crowds for security, you keep finding yourself pulled away from noise. Not because you are broken, but because your spirit is being trained to hear clearly. The pain of being misunderstood has been real. The ache of being the one who gives deeply yet still stands apart has been real. But this season is making sense now. Heaven has not been punishing you. Heaven has been protecting the oil on your life, as was spoken in the sacred texts of old. Chapter 32, verse 8. But the noble make noble plans, and by noble deeds they stand. That word exposes the pattern. You cannot build a noble life in constant compromise. You cannot carry a holy assignment while begging to be accepted by places that were never designed to recognize what you carry. Some doors closed because your calling could not survive inside them. Some friendships faded because your future was too weighty to be tied to people who only loved the version of you that stayed small. Some seasons became silent because God was teaching you to stop measuring your worth by who stays. So when you walk alone, it is not always a sign of loss. Sometimes it is evidence of divine selection. Sometimes it is the hallway between who you were and who you are becoming. The separation hurts, but it is also revealing your strength. You are learning that peace is better than performance. Truth is better than approval, and purpose is better than false company. This is why your road looks different. You are being refined into someone who can stand without applause, obey without validation, and move without needing the crowd to agree. If this word meets you where you are, receive it quietly. Honor it with a like. Share it with someone carrying the same hidden weight. Subscribe and support this work if you feel led. And at the end, comment 111. The deeper truth is that you do not walk alone merely because people leave. You walk alone because you see what others refuse to see, and that kind of sight changes everything. Long before words are spoken, you can feel the shift in a room. Before betrayal shows its face, your spirit catches the fracture. Before confusion becomes visible, you sense the disorder underneath polished smiles and practiced language. This is not imaginary. This is not weakness. This is one of the reasons your path has felt unusually heavy. Discernment is a gift, but it is also a burden when you are surrounded by people who call blindness peace. You have likely spent years wondering why you cannot simply relax into certain spaces the way others do. Why you cannot laugh at what feels hollow, celebrate what feels false, or trust what appears smooth on the surface. The answer is that your spirit reacts to truth and distortion more quickly than most. While others need proof after the damage is done, you often receive the warning before the storm fully forms. That early awareness has made you seem distant, serious, or hard to understand. Yet what they call distance is often protection. What they call intensity is often spiritual sensitivity sharpened by pain, prayer, and survival. The Word of God declares in the book of Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 12, "The prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty." There is a holy explanation for why you pause when others rush, why you step back when others attach too quickly, and why your soul grows tired in places that look normal to everyone else. You are not built to move carelessly. You are not assigned to drift through life asleep. Part of your calling is to recognize what does not belong, even when no one else has language for it yet. That recognition has cost you comfort. It has cost you closeness with people who prefer easy lies over difficult truth. It has cost you invitations, explanations, and sometimes even your own confidence, because carrying insight without immediate confirmation can make you question yourself. But the pattern keeps repeating. What you sensed in secret eventually reveals itself in public. What disturbed your spirit in silence eventually shows its fruit. And each time it happens, you learn that the separation around you is not random. It is tied to the clarity within you. So the loneliness is not only about being different, it is about being awake. You have been forced to stand at a distance from many things because your eyes adjust to realities others still cannot bear to name. That is why the road narrows again. Not to punish you, but to preserve the accuracy of what God has trained you to discern. Then comes the part that feels the most confusing to your heart, not when people misunderstand you, not when you sense what others cannot sense, but when God begins removing what you still hoped would stay. This is where many chosen ones almost lose their footing. You can endure warfare more easily than silence. You can survive rejection more easily than divine subtraction. Because when God starts taking away what you prayed would remain, the soul trembles. You wonder whether you have failed, whether you have been abandoned, whether the breaking around you means the promise has slipped away. But this is often the hidden turning point. Some losses were not punishments, they were rescues. Some endings were not proof that heaven ignored your cries. They were proof that heaven answered them in a form your emotions did not immediately recognize. You were asking for purpose, but purpose required pruning. You were asking for clarity, but clarity required distance from confusion. You were asking for elevation, but elevation could not happen while you were still tied to people, patterns, and places that fed your fear more than your faith. That is why certain things fell apart even while you were trying to hold them together with clean intentions and tired hands. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 7. "But blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in him." That word reaches directly into this painful place. Your confidence cannot rest in what is familiar if God is leading you somewhere higher. It cannot be rooted in who stayed yesterday, who understood you last season, or what once made you feel secure. When God removes what you cling to, He is not always emptying your life. He is repositioning your trust. He is showing you what had become too central, too controlling, too emotionally powerful to let you walk in freedom. This is why the lonely road intensifies before it clears. The things you leaned on begin to loosen. The voices you ran to no longer satisfy. The old shelters stop feeling safe. And for a moment, it seems cruel. But later you see it plainly. Had those things remained, they would have delayed you. Had those bonds stayed untouched, they would have made your obedience negotiable. Had every comfort been preserved, your spirit might never have learned complete dependence. So do not misread the pruning season. What is leaving your hand may be the very thing that was blocking your next instruction. What is breaking away may be exposing the path beneath your feet. At the end of this message, comment, "New roots." Write it as your quiet sign that you are no longer begging God to preserve what He has chosen to replace, and that your trust is learning to grow deeper than your attachments. What solitude begins, authority completes. By the time you have been separated, misunderstood, and pruned, something else starts forming inside you that could not have been built any other way. The loneliness that once felt like emptiness becomes structure. The silence that once felt sharp becomes discipline. The distance that once made you question your worth becomes the place where your voice learns weight. This is the mystery many people never understand. Walking alone does not only reveal who is missing, it reveals what God is building when no one is close enough to interrupt the work. When you are denied constant affirmation, you stop living on borrowed certainty. When you are removed from noisy dependence, your inner life becomes stronger. When you cannot run to the crowd for instant comfort, your spirit learns endurance. That endurance becomes authority, not the loud authority that demands attention, but the steady authority that does not need to announce itself. It enters a room and shifts it. It speaks few words and still leaves impact. It remains calm where others panic because it was trained in hidden places where panic had no power to rescue. This is why your journey has been so different. You are being formed into someone who does not collapse when support disappears. The apostle reminds us in the letter to the Corinthians chapter 2, verse 16. But we have the mind of Christ. That is where your strength is deepening now. Solitude has been teaching you to think differently, to see beyond immediate emotion, beyond social pressure, beyond the fear of being left behind. You are not meant to react like everyone else. You are learning to carry perspective instead of panic, discernment instead of impulse, and peace instead of desperation. That is spiritual authority taking shape. It is not theatrical. It is not borrowed language. It is the evidence of a mind that has been trained under pressure and purified in private. This kind of formation changes how you stand in conflict, how you endure delay, and how you respond when others project their confusion onto you. You no longer need every misunderstanding corrected. You no longer need every accusation answered. You no longer feel compelled to prove your value to people who cannot recognize it. That is growth. That is power. That is what happens when God uses aloneness not to diminish you, but to make you stable. The person who once feared the empty space now discovers that the empty space was a forge. So what you carry now is not only pain survived, it is substance produced. It is a backbone strengthened by hidden battles, a vision sharpened by quiet nights, and a spirit that has learned how to remain standing without constant human reinforcement. The path was lonely, yeah, but it was never wasted. It was building a life that can bear real weight. And this is the revelation that changes the meaning of everything you have survived. You were never truly abandoned on this road. You were never left to wander through silence without witness. You were never the forgotten one standing outside while everyone else was chosen for ease. What felt like absence was often concealment. What felt like distance was often guidance too deep for your natural senses to interpret in the moment. The reason this will make sense soon is because your loneliness was never empty. It was inhabited. The hand of God was present in the very seasons that looked the most vacant. Now you begin to look back and see it with different eyes. The closed doors that wounded you also protected you. The relationships that dissolved also released you. The delays that made you question your value also kept you from stepping into places before your spirit was ready to carry the weight. Even the nights when you thought no one understood the battle in your mind were not wasted nights. Heaven was doing hidden work then. Strength was entering you quietly. Vision was being clarified beneath the surface. Your dependence on human approval was being broken so your connection to divine direction could become stronger than your need to be constantly reassured. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 28, verse 20. And surely I am with you always, to the very end of the age. This is the truth underneath your entire story. You were alone in a human sense, but never alone in a spiritual one. Presence walked with you when companionship failed. Wisdom guarded you when explanations did not come. Mercy covered you when you could not even describe what you were feeling. And now, what once felt like a cruel mystery begins to reveal its purpose. You had to learn the difference between being unsupported and being unguided. They are not the same. People may not have known how to walk with you, but God never stepped away. That is why you are still standing with your heart intact, your discernment alive, and your spirit not destroyed by everything that tried to reduce you. Something greater carried you. Something holy kept you from breaking in the places where others expected your collapse. And because of that, you are no longer reading your life through the lens of rejection. You are reading it through the lens of alignment. The path was narrow because it was intentional. The road was quiet because your hearing had to sharpen. The separation was painful because your calling was costly. But the cost was never meaningless. So when you move forward now, you do not move as someone cursed with loneliness. You move as someone marked by presence. If this truth is settling into your spirit, comment 528 at the end as your sign that you finally understand the road was solitary, but never empty, and that what walked with you in secret is about to become undeniable in the open. And if this message has felt like a hidden fire kept alive for you through a season of cold winds, then let that warmth move beyond you in whatever way feels beautiful to your spirit. A like can be a quiet hand placing one more ember on the altar, a small sign that this word did not fall on empty ground. A share can become the act of sending a lantern down a dark road, so another soul walking through silence may suddenly see they are not lost. Your comment can rest here like a stone of remembrance beside the river, marking the place where something in you finally understood. To subscribe is simply to keep returning to this well when your spirit thirsts again. And if your heart is moved to donate, let it be like planting oil for future lamps, so the light that reached you tonight may continue burning for someone else tomorrow.